everyone. This is David Zemer for the ACTE633 Multimedia presentation. The first thing I'm going to talk about is what makes me unique as a learner. I'm supposed to pick 3 to 5 characteristics that define me as a learner. When thinking about this question, I kind of had to think back as myself as a younger student and also as a college student now. And I kind of think of my characteristics growing as I, of course, matured into a more of an adult learner rather than a younger student learner. So, taking a look, the very first one I have here is challenge seeking, which I thought of as like always striving to do something kind of above and beyond. Not only when I was younger would I look for trying to finish early and then be given a challenge, something to enrich my learning. But also as an adult, I strive to do something that's kind of above and beyond what is expected. So kind of like adding a challenge to the job. Next one over here is sharing knowledge and collaborative. So I think of it as when I was younger, whenever I would learn something on my own, I was probably the first to want to share my knowledge with someone else, of course, if they wanted to hear it. Kind of a quick example, when I did get my first computer at my home back when I can't even remember what grade, I think it was 7th or 8th grade. I taught myself how to navigate through PowerPoint, and I shared my knowledge actually with my 8th grade science teacher. And also today, being a learner, working with groups is definitely a characteristic that I would define as not necessarily unique, but I feel like I collaborate well, and it makes me stronger as a learner. My curiosity, I love the quote from Walt Disney, when you're curious, you find lots of interesting things to do. My curiosity definitely led me as a learner, still leads me as a learner, and always wanting to know kind of the next step in things, or kind of that what else question, the who, what, why, when, where, how. Extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. I would definitely say that, back when I was in elementary through high school grades, I was always trying to get that praise and always trying to get extrinsic motivation from my parents. Not that I was punished, but because I just wanted them to be happy, and proud of my grades and accomplishments. Taking a look at intrinsic motivation, nowadays, now that I'm in graduate courses, take it as a sense of interest and a sense of pride and achievement, as you see here in this visual graphic. So switching over to in what ways have others responded to your unique characteristics that positively influence your learning, and in what ways have they negatively influenced my learning? I would definitely have to say that, I would definitely have to say that, as for me, my family definitely encouraged me to stay curious, to always ask questions. So when we'd be on trips or when we'd be out and about, they would, they would ask me questions as I go, things that they were thinking that turned around and kind of helped me to think in certain ways, or it helped me to keep asking questions. And I believe when I saw, adults and I saw others with a sense of curiosity, it made me curious as well. I was that younger kid who always asked questions, but at the same time, always held my curiosity. But when I was younger, I also found that there were challenges. I had some negative influences from educators, from teachers that I had. I sometimes did long for that curiosity, longed for that push, and sometimes this wasn't available from a teacher's. It would just be like, pull out your book. I don't have anything else for you. Technology wasn't really used in my classrooms, nor was it pushed. When we would do an activity in high school, it was like, could we use technology? Yes, we could, but it wasn't like, no, yeah, definitely, I want you to use it. It was more of a, you can use it, but I'm not going to persuade you to use it. So it wasn't a necessity. which I feel like if teachers back then pushed us to be more creative, it definitely would have helped me continue and grow a little bit, I guess, faster and stronger as a student learning new technologies at the age I was at. Lastly, as you review the excerpt from the INACOL and draw on what has helped you learn, what do you think students from the digital generation need in order to succeed in an online classroom? After this reading, this quote, and then thinking about the three texts that we read, along with the textbook, which I think is fabulous, it definitely opens my eyes to, so many different things as far as, what I need to be doing in my classroom and am I doing what is best for my students? So I immediately think of engaging students, and I think of that one section of our book that discusses our students no longer being visual auditory learners, and now they're visual and kinesthetic, or visual or kinesthetic. Um, and it just makes me think of how I need to be more aware of visually stimulating um, the students before the lesson, kind of as a anticipatory set, some type of visual for them to make the connections to, kind of having a technology at the forefront of my lesson, rather than thinking, how can I integrate my technology? How can that technology be used to teach? And that's definitely a question I've been kind of using and also introducing or expressing here at Hempfield. We were given a survey for our professional development. And one of the things that I didn't see much of, I saw, different tools to integrate, but I didn't see tools to instruct. So it's definitely something that I want to push more towards, being in a face-to-face and not being an online educator. I think of what kinds of tools could I be using now to start my transition into online education, because it definitely uh, I definitely feel as though, technology is definitely going to be the wave of the future. The way the kids are learning through reading my text, it's going to be a whole new world, and I, as a teacher and educator, need to stay up to date. I need to stay away from the passive learning and move towards more of that active learning, keeping students engaged and just keeping that multiple tasks in my head, that students are able to do more than what I think they can do. And I need to continue to push them and have higher expectations. So, sorry I made this a little wordy, but I hope everybody liked my presentation. All right, thanks, guys. See ya.